Compound Mindset is sponsored by Synergy Stays. We're a revenue management optimization company for short-term rentals. If you own a short-term rental, you love the hospitality side, you're crushing it when it comes to guests, but you don't want to have to focus on the revenue side of things, or you just know that in order to stay on top of all the tips, tricks, and trends, it's just a lot of work and it's a full-time job, well, hit us up. You sound like the perfect person that can work with us, and we'd love to partner with you.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Compound Mindset. I'm super excited for this guest right here, Shai Otis with One Call Close Academy. He's doing big things. This guy could sell, what is it, ice to an Eskimo, water to a well. I mean, this guy's got a lot of skills in the sales game, but I'm excited to have you on, Shai. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
Nice. Well, let's go. Let's get right into this. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Who is Shai?
Sure. First and foremost, I'm a father and a husband. I tell people really worry about success. What does success mean if you don't have the right people to share it with, right? If I was alone without the girls and my wife, I don't think I'd be happy, even with a lot of money. So first and foremost, I always tell people I'm a husband and a father first. Funny enough, today's our 12-year wedding anniversary. So thank you. But other than that, I am a guy that loves to impact other people. One Call Close Academy, I started with the motto of empowering ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. So I was owning businesses and I still consult some companies. And a lot of times before One Call Close Academy, it was me affecting 15 or 20 sales guys. But then I started One Call Close Academy and I was able to cast a much wider net. I'm able to get on some bigger stages and now I can affect thousands of people. And that's really what brings me fulfillment, is having people reach out to me, getting those random text messages when you don't expect them, like, bro, thank you so much. If it wasn't for this, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And like that to me is more valuable than paychecks, is seeing that people have leveled up. People have moved out of their parents' houses into rental apartments. People have moved from rental apartments to buying their first houses. People have gone from, crappy cars to dream cars. And it's because of some form of impact that I gave them. So that's who I am, father, husband, business owner, consultant. And then other than that, I just love to be outside. Recently picked up golf maybe 2 years ago. I'm not good at it, but I love golf courses. It's a beautiful place to be outside. And if I'm not on a golf course, I love to be in the ocean.
That's awesome. No, I love that about you. First of all, I do a very similar first intro, so I always respect people who say that. Like, I used to say girl dad. Now I have a son. He's going to be born in a couple of weeks. So now
Congratulations.
I don't just dad. Thank you. And it's like, I love that because that's so true. Like if you can't share your wins, if you don't have that support system, you can make as much money as you want, but at the end of the day, like if you don't have someone to enjoy it with, then why do it?
Yeah.
So I think that was awesome. I love what you're doing. We call the Compound Mindset, and on this episode, I'm super excited to just talk about Shai's the expert of compounding revenue. And I mean, that's what we all want to do. At the end of the day, we build a business. Mark Evans was talking about this the other day. Like we all try to build these businesses and run it as a business. But at the end of the day, if you can't drive revenue, it doesn't matter how well you run a business and your SOPs, you're going to go under. And I think this conversation can be so important to people about just different ways to drive that revenue, compound that revenue so that you can actually stay in business and then be able to do what a lot of us truly are happy doing, like you just said, is giving back and helping other people just be better versions of themselves. So I just love how you hit upon your family and helping people be better versions of themselves, because that's just so key. So tell me a little bit more about One Call Close. Like you gave that quick little overview of it, but just dive into it a little bit deeper of what that is and how you're truly making a difference in other people's lives.
Absolutely. So it really started out of kind of necessity. My wife has been pushing me to speak on stages and consult for 15 years. And a couple of years ago, I had a business partner and I was young and he had a lot more money than me. And we did a handshake deal, which was one of the most valuable lessons I've ever learned, not to do a handshake deal, right? But unfortunately, it ended up with me losing my contractor's license in California. So I can't own a contracting company in California. But this is what I know, this is what I do. So what I did was I started a consulting company, and now instead of owning companies, I get to consult a lot of companies. And at first it started as, I'm going to take my buddy who was working for me at another company, and him and some people got together and started a company, and I'm going to work with them. And it was kind of like a shield for me to work, right? To be honest. But then it just grew into organically, like me writing the book and then other people inviting me to speak on stages. And now people are reaching out to me. I have a couple of calls today. I do a free 15-minute, get to know me call, see if we're a good fit for each other. And it just started to escalate. And, it's what's giving me a lot of energy and it's giving me a lot of happiness is being able to impact a lot of people. So I have been predominantly in the home improvement space and the home service space. But what you realize when you're in sales, I've been in sales 17 years now, 16 in the home improvement space. Sales is sales, right? It doesn't matter if you're doing Airbnb services or plumbing or roofing or windows or software or TVs or phones or whatever it may be. Sales is sales. So I've learned that like we were talking before we started recording is a lot of salespeople don't have a process. A lot of companies don't have a sales process. And I've learned how to create sales process and how to generate leads through the most old school form of lead generation, which is door knocking. So I teach a lot of door knocking. I teach a lot of mindset, a lot of how to scale a company. And then I teach a lot of sales. And I've been working with various companies right now, which actually is the most fun part of it. Before I was always working with roofing and paint companies, but now I have landscape companies and drywall companies and companies that lift concrete, which I didn't know companies lifted concrete, and property management companies. So it's a lot of fun. And now people are reaching out to me even before they buy companies. And they're like, hey, we're thinking about buying a roofing company in New Orleans. If we buy this company, can we bring you on to train the sales reps and create a process? And I'm like, absolutely. So now is this new play where I might be starting to consult for equity as well. Sometimes, most companies I'm consulting for a fee, but now people want to give me equity in their company. And I kind of like that because everyone sits at the table, everyone eats, right? And they're more willing. The biggest thing with coaching is you can coach people to do things, but what happens once you leave? Are you going to do the work, right? Look at America. Everyone knows you shouldn't have fast food and you should work out and you shouldn't smoke cigarettes. And we're the fattest country in the world. People drink soda, fast food, smoke cigarettes, and then wonder why they're obese and dying, right? So we all know what to do. You need the people to actually go ahead and do what we're supposed to do.
I love all that. It's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
I do want to start a little bit with this. You don't have to go too detailed. And I know you said, handshake deals aren't the way to go. But that bad partnership that went bad, again, you don't have to dive too deep into it. But I want you to give someone advice on that. What would you have done differently? Would you have still partnered with this person if it was in writing? Would you have not have? Or any?
So now that I know everything and then we were partners for 9 years, probably not. But at the same time, my parents have always taught me everything happens for a reason. Right? The amount of lessons I learned in business from him and there's so many lessons that came out of it that I wouldn't say I shouldn't have done it. Right? But definitely I should have had contracts in place and things like that. And the lesson there is don't be jaded by the money because there's a lot of money out there. And, one of the sayings that I have or the motto I have is embrace abundance because there is so much abundance. There's so much sunshine for everyone out there. But a lot of times you have an opportunity with a lot of money. You're like, if I don't take this opportunity, I'm never going to make the money that I want, right? Well, get rid of that mindset because if this opportunity came to you, other opportunities are going to come to you. And the more successful I get and the more I get into masterminds and networking groups, and you know this just as well as I do, the most successful people, you have to say no more than you say yes, right? So I would have done the deal, but I would have done it with paperwork. And, ever since then now, spend the money on the lawyers, have them look at the partnership agreements and go in it with the mindset of a lawyer, right? Even today, I'm working on some things that I can't really talk about, but I'm all, this is an amazing deal. Let's make it happen. We're going to get a 9-figure exit. And the lawyer asks, what if it doesn't happen? Well, I didn't think that way. That's they're like, because you're a positive thinker and you're a mindset, but that's why you hire us because us lawyers, we need to think about what if it doesn't happen. Right? So you got to play devil's advocate and do the old, Warren Buffett or whoever it is, where you put the piece of paper, a line down the middle and look at the pros and cons and really try and break the deal before you only look at the positive side of the deal.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I appreciate that. I just wanted to hop into that because I know a lot of us have had either bad relationships or partnerships.
You got bad partners.
I've had it. We've all had it. And I probably, honestly, to be completely candid, I probably wasn't a good partner in some because I was biting off too much that I could chew. Like you said, it's good to say no. One thing I was doing was saying yes to too many things, and then you do them all half-assed. So it's like, saying no is so powerful and just hyper focusing on what's important. And it's truly crazy how successful you could be at that. But let's now pivot to what you were talking about too on the one you're working with a lot of different types of companies. I think that's awesome. Give us a little piece of your secret sauce. Give me something that
Absolutely.
will help guide someone.
I hate to do this to you. I have to grab a phone charger. I'm going to lose you. 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
So the secret sauce, man, there's so many, but know your why, right? When I'm coaching the owners, it's always starting with, why do you want to do this? What are you looking to get out of it? And they're so scattered so many times. It's like, we need more leads and we need closing and we need a production manager. Should I hire a production manager? Should I hire this? And it's like, time out. Have you ever grabbed a piece of paper and written any of this down? And a lot of people run to spend thousands of dollars on therapists, where you can get a piece of lined paper and a pen for 99 cents or less and start literally just vomiting onto the piece of paper. And it's amazing the clarity that comes and what you need to do. Even in personal life, when you're upset, you're having a bad day, I think the power of journaling is so not talked about, right? It's so undermined that it's weak, or only hippies or these people journal. Dude, spend some time with the journal. You'll have so much clarity in your mind. And if you don't know what to write about, just whatever comes to mind. And do it without judgment. Set a 10-minute timer and just write. And you'll feel so much better, get it off your chest. But a lot of times when I'm coaching, it's like, what do we need to do? What is the direction the company needs to go? And let's do one thing at a time. So that's one of the biggest things. It's like, they call me and it's like, Shai, we need help. It's like, where do you need help, right? Do you have enough work right now? No. Okay, so we need work, right? Do we have leads in order to get work? No, we don't have that. If we do have leads, who's going to sell the lead? And a lot of these companies are small. It's like me, the owner, I'm going, okay, and then what do? And then I'm doing the production, and then I'm hiring the guy. So you're a one-man band. You don't have a company, you have a job, right? So how do we create a company here? What positions do we need? And I'll tell you the biggest thing the problem is limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs ruins people. They say, Shai, your company does $2 million a month, but I'm doing $30,000 a month, and it would be incredible to do $100,000 a month. I'm like, dude, if you hire me and you plug in what I'm telling you, you'll be doing $1 million a month in 6 months, right? It's very, very quick, the compound effect that happens when there's systems in place, not when you're just buckshots into the air, right? If you need leads and you get a couple guys and you train them how to door knock, right? And you constantly train them, then you're going to have a lot of leads, right? And then you get 2-3 sales reps and you create a sales process, right? And then they go out and you give feedback, and there's always power results on what's happening, right? The biggest problem is a lot of people say, Shai, we once tried door knocking and it didn't work. So door knocking doesn't work, right? It's like you being, I once dated a girl and it didn't work out. So there's no woman in this world for me, right? Or your child, they were trying to walk, they fell, and you're like, she'll never walk. We're screwed. We don't have a walker, right?
Just give up. Yep.
Or people have gone to masterminds and they're like, I don't like this mastermind. All masterminds are a hoax. No, you just didn't find the right one. So the limiting belief is one of the biggest things that stops people, is you got to just keep going till the miracle happens, right? So I know I just kind of splat all over you right now, but there's so much to the secret sauce, and so much of it starts with the mindset of the owner. Are you even willing to implement the suggestions that I gave you? Because if not, you're wasting my time and your time. I don't need the fee for the 1 hour. I want the notch on my belt to say, hey, I took this company from 10,000 to 100,000, from 100,000 to $1 million.
Yep.
That's what I get the high from.
That I think the two biggest points you just said there are so key, are the mindset, as you just ended with, just having that like you were saying, the optimist, but that positive mindset, that abundance mindset, that you can do it mindset. But also, one thing let's not skip over, it's what every successful person will tell you is the trick of the trade: persistency. And then you just keep going. You have to have systems, you gotta have KPIs to track, and then just being persistent. That's it. That's literally the secret sauce. But make sure you're doing it right. Like you had said, if you're door knocking and not doing it well, you could door knock 100 and 1,000, but you're still not going to do it well, and you're gonna hate it and say you suck at it, or it doesn't work.
Or it doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas there's that one key component. I think Ed Milet was talking about that on a podcast I was listening to the other day. It's you can't just keep doing something and you're going to get better at it. You got to do it, take a step back, analyze what you were doing, adjust, do it again. Step back, analyze, adjust, do it again. And that's how you get great. Because just like a golf
100%.
swing, you said you're learning how to golf. If you have a bad golf swing and you just keep trying to do that same swing over and over again and think it's going to have a different result, you're just going to
It's going to be frustrating.
yeah, you're just going to be in the bunkers all day long or duffing the ball.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Oh my God, that's so key. Tell me a little bit about. I'm very interested in the door knocking part of this because I have a friend that does door-to-door sales with satellite. He sells satellite dishes and he does solar panels, and he does a really good job at it.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued by it. So give me, first off, I think people would love to listen to this. Give me a cool story that you have. You have to have at least one or two very unique stories from door knocking, horror stories.
I mean,
And
there's
then,
always just the angry people, you get the guys like every now and then someone comes out with a gun or something like that. No one's, to my knowledge, no one's ever been shot, right?
Oh, good.
And you can close those people, it's like the louder the bark, the easier people are to close. That's what I will tell you, right?
I love that. Go into that. I love that.
Like the louder the bark, the easier they are to close. Like the no soliciting sign. Why do people have no soliciting signs? What do I train? That means scared to buy, right? I don't read no soliciting. I read scared to buy because those no soliciting people open the door and a lot of them are hoarders. And what you see inside is every infomercial you've ever seen in your life, right? Like I've knocked houses and you look inside, what you can't see on TV from hoarders is the stench that comes with it. But it's like when you say to yourself, FML, why am I here? That's the most important lead of the day, right? Because if you pitch that lead, most sales reps left that lead. They said, these people are broke, screw them, I'm out of here. And you sit there and you go through it and you pitch and you sell, right? One of the stories I'll never forget, I was in LA at a lead and all the chairs were in saran wrap. And I go to sit and they're like, don't sit there, sit here. And I sat in the right chair. And then I went back outside and I accidentally went to sit in the wrong chair. They're like, don't sit there, sit there. And then at the end, I got excited. I was filling out paperwork and I sat in the wrong chair and I just feel it. My jeans get wet. My boxers get wet. And I'm like, oh, I just sat in this lady's urine. And that's why all the chairs are wrapped in saran wrap, right? But I sold a lifetime coating job. We sell a lifetime warranty paint and stucco product and a roof, $53,000. And Dan, I didn't get up. I'm like, I'm already wet. I'm filling out paperwork. I just sat and filled it all out. And I'll never forget that lead.
Let me see. How to make money while sitting in piss? I don't know. There's a lot of different.
There's a lot. You can play with that one quite a bit, But you see all kinds of personalities, right? The no soliciting sign is a big one. It means people are scared to buy. You just go and knock on it and be polite. And I love door knocking. I actually have a book coming out on the 20th of this month called The 5-Minute Door Knocker. And it's like 70 pages on how to create a pitch, how to handle objections, mindset, and everything like that. And then the last 200 some pages is actually a journal. Talking about journal, and it's themed after the 5-minute journal. I don't know if you're familiar with the 5-minute journal, but it has a morning section and it says, what are you grateful for today? And it has personal and professional, and what would make today great, and how many leads are you going to get today? And then you come back in the evening and you fill out how many leads you got today. What are 3 things that were great in your personal life? What are 3 things that were great in your professional life? It has a habit tracker. Did you work out? Did you read? Did you role play? It has a blank for you to fill out what you want. So it has 7 daily pages, then a weekly recap, then a weekly goal for the next week, then 7 daily pages, so on and so forth. And at the end of every month, it has a monthly recap and a monthly goal for the next month. Too many people don't track metrics, right? Men and women lie, numbers don't. And when you start actually looking at numbers, everything changes. For example, I have reps, they're like, Guy, my leads were crap this week. I had no good leads. And then you look, you're like, dude, you pitch missed, meaning you demoed 4 leads this week and didn't close them. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Because the emotions are high, but then you need the numbers to bring them to like reality, right? So I always have said men and women lie, numbers don't.
First of all, I love the journaling. I know you've mentioned that a couple times now, and I love the fact that you have it in your book. That's pretty cool that at the end of the book, you have the journaling. Think about the value there. A lot of people have been writing books lately. They'll give you the tips and tricks, and I think yours is going to be so valuable. But now you're also putting that action plan in place with them. Yeah. Like you're helping guide them. Like, hey, take what I'm teaching you, and now put it into place, and it's all in the one cover. Love that. Absolutely love that.
Because you know how many books people read, that there's exercises and it tells you to do them and no one does it. People just say, oh, I read this book, on to the next book. It's like, are you trying to see how many books you can read, or are you trying to learn from the books that you're actually reading? And that's something that I'm guilty of too. You're reading at night and it says, do this exercise. You're like, I'll do this exercise another time. Let me keep reading. And it's like, you got to get the value out of the books. Now I'm at the point where if I have a really good book, like How to Master the Art of Selling. I'm messing up the name, Tom Hopkins. Like, to me, it was so valuable that I was listening to it in the car and reading it at night. Because I don't do well with Audible. It gives me one idea and then my brain starts going and I'm like, I just missed 20 minutes of the book.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I actually like to read. I'm old school. I like to underline and circle and write in the margins. But if it's something really powerful, then I'll read it and listen to it at the same time.
See, I love that. And also, I did that one year. Like, I was just getting through as many books as I could and just like getting some knowledge, which is good for like maybe a baseline of knowledge.
For sure.
You're 100% right. Sometimes I think Psychology of Money I've listened to 4 times now.
There you go.
And there's a few books that I'm like, I need to listen to that or read it. I like to do both a few times to really get it to sink in, because you're absolutely right. Sometimes I have to pause my Audible because I just realized I was thinking about something else for the last 15 minutes. Same thing.
Yeah.
But it's good. It gets your mind going. Like that's obviously got my mind going in a good direction to like try to better myself or better my business.
It's good to practice active listening too, if you can do it. I'm just too ADD.
Yeah, me too. Well, this idea here, I'm going with it. I'm sure you've dealt with this. You've trained a lot of salespeople. This is what you do right now. You consult. You're helping teams. How do you help guide them through burnout? Like, I mean, it's almost inevitable. Obviously, you could be as successful as you can, but salespeople are going to get burnt. I mean, everybody can get burnt out, but like on the sales front, how do you kind of guide them to not get burnt out, or when they're suspecting they're starting to burn out, like how to pivot and make sure that they don't end up failing?
Absolutely. One, I hate the word burnout because it's fake. It's a low hanging fruit that people give you and then they take it, right? But there's a couple of things that really come to mind right away. One is our guys, they have a day off. And when I say our guys, like the main company I consult is Title Remodeling here in Carlsbad, California. They work Monday through Saturday and they have Sunday off, and they can have a weekday off. Right? A lot of times they just grind 6 days a week, 6 days a week, 6 days a week. And I make them take a day off, right? So take your day off. But what are you doing on your day off, right? Are you sitting at home and doing laundry and watching TV and bored out of your mind, which then you'd rather be working? Or are you planning your day off, right? Do you plan your vacations? Like my best friend right now, Tyler, he is one of the owners of Title. He's in Bali right now for 17 days. He had no problem grinding up until last Friday when he got on a flight to go to Bali, right? Because there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm grinding right now, and I hope you're going to be in Napa, right? Are you going to be in Napa?
I'll be there. I'll be there.
And we're going to Napa, So it's like, it's okay to work a little later because I'm going to Napa. And the day we come back, we're actually going to Legacy Island with my family. So we'll be out your way, So it's like, you got to plan the vacations so that the grinding is worth it, right? Also, this magic word that everyone throws out there, why? What's your why? And it's not to make a lot of money, right? You got to go 7 layers deep of why. Why do you want to make a lot of money? Well, because I want to buy a house. Why do you want to buy a house? Well, because my parents, never had a house and we moved around a lot. Okay, why? Because, my dad didn't make a lot of money, so we missed rent. Okay, so you want secure. And then when you get to that, like that why is really strong. So I remind when I interview and I have one-on-ones with the reps and I ask permission once they share their why, can I use this against you, right? Can I remind you of this? Can I bring this back up to you? And they always say yes. And then now I can throw it back in their face kind of, right? Other things I do, I make them grab a piece of paper and Dan, write down 50 reasons why I should buy from you.
Yep.
Right? And this is not so much the burnout. This is when they're going through a cold streak, right? They're cold and they're not selling and they're down in the dumps, right? I want you to write down 50 reasons why I should buy from Dan Rivers, the man, right? I want you to write 50 reasons why I should buy from Synergy Stays. And then I want you to go visit 3 homeowners that already purchased from you with no intention other than to go see them again. Right? And then they visit with them and they remind themselves about how they closed this person and they get that confidence back because sales is all about confidence, right? So those are some of the things that we do for burnout. Plan vacations, plan days off, write 50 reasons why they should buy from you or buy from your company. Those are 2 separate lists. and go visit customers.
I think the intentionality of it too, as you mentioned early on, I think that's something that I try to be better at because it's easy with the ADHD, like you said, to not be as intentional with your time. But it's crazy. Like when you hyper focus, you're intentional, you take care of like that, the number one thing you got to get done that day, and then you go from there. It's amazing on how you could feel your mindset again, how fulfilled you are when you're intentional. When you're not intentional, you're just like, oh, I worked hard today. Oh, really? What'd you do? Well, I kind of just thought I did stuff. I was looking at emails, checked out Instagram, did all this stuff during the day. Well, did you have a checklist? Did you get all the main things done that you needed to accomplish?
Yeah. Or did you just log in hours? Did you just log in hours, or was there intentional work that happened in those hours? Because, that's the other thing. And you mentioned Mark Evans. It's like, dude, go work hard for 2 hours and enjoy the rest of the day versus say that you were there for 8 hours. And really, if we audit your time, you were on Facebook for 6 of them.
Yep. Yeah, what kind of brag is that? I'd rather, exactly, my goal, like I always talk about dream mornings, it's like, worked out early this morning, make breakfast with the kiddos, take my daughter to school, hang out with the wifey a little bit, and then I'm able to come in here, focus from 10 to 3, hyper-focused during that time, and then at 3 o'clock, I can go pick up my daughter and, go enjoy
Be a dad, yeah.
Yeah, but people are like, oh, it must be nice to work 4 or 5 hours. Well, like if you hyper focus and you are really intentional on the tasks that you got to get done at that time, it's amazing on what you could perform at. Most people, except for maybe, I'm not saying everybody, but 90% of people that say, oh, I worked 8 hours or 10 hours today, if you really, like you said, you really look at it, no, you didn't. You worked probably 4.
Yeah, 1 hour lunch break, 3 times you went to the bathroom and took 15 minutes. You checked your social media, you walked around here, you reorganized your desk because it was, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Atomic Habits, James Clear, the man, he's the man.
Yep. I love it. He's been dropping some great books. Anybody listening to this, write down all the books Shai's been dropping. But let's talk about one thing. I'm going to ask you 2 more questions. One thing I want to talk to you about is, we always say this, like Shai is a person, you've learned a lot of different things throughout your life. What's one key mindset shift that's helped you have like that breakthrough to this like next level? Obviously you went from doing the roofing and the contractors, you had to pivot quickly and you realized you were good at consulting and sales. But was there a point in your life where your mindset shifted and it's really taken you to where you are today?
Abundance, right? I used to think 100 grand was a lot of money, right? I thought $1 million was a lot of money. Now I look at stuff, I'm like, it's only 40 million, only 40 million, and people think you're crazy. And it's like, sometimes it's very hard to talk to other people because you level up, and your mind changes, right? And that's why masterminds are so important and networking is so important. I never want to be the most successful man in the room. I want to be the least successful man in the room, right? And constantly be leveling up. So I think that was a big thing for me. The other one is no one cares about you as much as you think they do, right? So I wanted to consult for years and years and years. I wanted to go live and be the social media guy, but I care too much about other people's opinions, right? Even like you're getting dressed to go out to dinner and you're like, oh, does this look good? Should I wear this? Should I wear that? You go to the restaurant, not one soul cares what you're wearing. No one's even looking at you. They're not even judging you, and you're all in your own head, right? So my biggest piece of advice, get out of your own head. Don't worry about what anyone thinks and just go for it because, one day you'll be on your deathbed with regret.
Yep. Oh, that's a good segue. Speaking of that deathbed, here's the final question I want to ask you. What does happiness truly mean to you? Like on that deathbed, you look back and you were like, I'm glad I did these things in life. They truly made me happy. What does that look like?
To give the best life possible to my wife, my children, my parents, my family. I want to say people that Shai gave with all his heart and created better lives for people around them. And that's really what it looks like. Yes, I want a yacht and houses here and there, but for me, I want a yacht. And it's something that's on the vision board. It's going to happen within the next 2-3 years. But I don't want the yacht to be alone. I want the yacht to take my friends and my family out to have good time, right? I want a private jet. I don't want a private jet to fly alone. I want a private jet to take my friends and family wherever we want to go and not worry about the money, right? I like fancy dinners. I like to pay for fancy dinners for whoever's at the table, right? Because I just want us all to enjoy life. And too many people don't get to enjoy life because they worry about the money, right? Can we do this? Can we buy that? My wife always gets mad. I go to the restaurant and I always say, make it rain. Just make it rain. Whatever you guys want, make it rain. Right? And that's what I want to be remembered for, that I improved all the lives of people around me and that I gave with my whole heart without expecting anything in return.
I love it. I love it. That is amazing. That is awesome. You're a good person. Appreciate this, Shai. Anything else you'd like to leave the listeners? And then, how can they contact you or follow you on social media?
So One Call Close Academy Facebook group, onecallcloseacademy.com, Shai Otis at Instagram. That's how you can follow me, the 3 places. I want to thank you for your time. You're an amazing dude. I always have that memory of you and I when we were having drinks and I got called from Tracy when Abby got relapsed, but she's doing phenomenal. We just got scans back from New York and everything. She's clear right now. But dude, you always have a place in my heart for that. That's not a comfortable place to be, having drinks with someone and they get that phone call. So I have a big place in my heart for you. I think this podcast and what you're doing for people is amazing. There's a million podcasts on business and revenue and P&L, but this mindset stuff is what gets you to all those other podcasts, because without the mindset, without the right intentions, it means absolutely nothing. Right. And then my last thing, I don't know when this is coming out. I'd love to invite people. I'm doing my first live event July 17th and July 18th in San Diego. July 17th is directed to One Call Close, teaching people how to build a one call close business that makes multiple 6 figures in profit every single month. And July 18th has nothing to do with One Call Close. It is solely a networking event, as you do so often and I do so often, and every successful person I know does, is they network with other people. So I rented a private suite at opening day of the Del Mar racetrack, which is the equivalent of the Kentucky Derby. And I'm just trying to get 48 high-level entrepreneurs to break bread, have conversations, and build lasting relationships, because one of the biggest lessons I've learned over the last 2 years is relationship capital.
Yep. I love all that. Thanks for dropping that. I'm so glad she's doing a lot better. I know that's something that was always on my heart, man. I can't, being a dad too, I felt your pain that day, and my God, I just needed to hug you and just let you know that, we're there for you. But I'm glad she's doing better.
I appreciate it. When's baby boy due?
Less than 2 weeks, May 25th.
Well, that's amazing,
So
dude.
it's close, and yeah.
Hope you can make it out here with a newborn, a month and a half old, but we'd love to have you, dude.
I appreciate that. Yeah, send me more details on that. I have to balance it because my wife's let me go to Napa with a 1-month-old. So I can't push the limits too much, but we'll see.
Amazing, brother. Have a phenomenal day. Thank you so much, dude.
You too. Appreciate you, man. Later,
Take care.